Welcome back. It's now time to get behind the build of the 2350 Supercab. Built for serious offshore performance with a next level of comfort and finish, the all-new 2350 shown here in red now boasts a 40% increase in cabin space over the 2400. We sat down with Craig and Sam from the Stabicraft design team to hear more about the ethos behind the 2350 Supercab and to share some insights on the options and new features on this exciting new model.
So yeah, a lot of the design aspirations and our goals were just to have a multi-use space. Like on your boat, you're limited by tip to tail, that's all you can use. So if you can use multiple areas of the boat for different functions, that's where you start giving your big boat feel in a small boat.
So for the interior layout in this particular boat, we've got the elite bolster seats on the suspension units with seat boxes. Storage under your seat boxes at the helm, the sleeper boxes in the rear that convert into a sleeper, cabin pockets which we've taken the styling from the 1850-2050 Supercabs, sliding windows on both sides and they'll be standard regardless of what spec you get. Nice dash layout with the removable face panel so that all your components can be cut in off the boat and then bolted back on.
We've changed up the way we're doing our bow rails. We've added a blade which has come from a lot of our modern styling for blade seats and the likes of that. It's given us quite a good use of space for a light bar. We've had a lot of feedback and a lot of issues during testing, putting light bars on the roof and the likes. Your whole bonnet and your bow rails just glow. So we've tried to push that as far forward as we can, hidden. So we had some feedback that previously if you mount them underneath your conventional bow rails, they get in the way of your field of view. So with dropping that blade down, putting the light bar down under there, should give the customer pretty good visibility at night to be able to see where they're going.
Also boarding and exiting the boat at the wharf helps a lot more with that drop down in the centre, means you're able to just sort of climb up there and not have to try and scurry over the top of a big high bow rail.
So with the Transom, we've continued on with the style that the 24 had, which is the tri-mount Transom. It's a single 30 and twin 25s, and that's just to allow for the counter-rotating and a wee bit better availability in certain markets to get the twin outboards at 25-inch leg. So on our coamings, we've configured it that the EVA comes not cut, and there's a selection whether the rod holders are fitted or not. So for our Aussie and American dealers that like to fit a rod holder system on whether it's a rail slide or their snapper rod racks, you can select a boat that has not got the rod holders fitted so you don't have these rod holders being covered. There's also a common locating drill point in the centre between the rod holders. So if a dealer or a customer was to fit either a downrigger in this position or an extra rod holder, they are common between models. So you go to one dealership and go to another, if they use that locator, they'll be a similar product. So this is our new rivet-on fendering strip. It's a HDPE. It's a lot more durable than some of the other products we've looked at. So there's half a dozen rivets on each strip, and it should take the impact of bouncing up against wharfs and jetties. So up the front here, this is obviously the V-berth option. We're also going to have a different spec V-berth configuration, which is just going to be a bulkhead footrest that goes across. Hardcore fishermen might put their fish bins up there. Just a really basic front configuration. So previously the 2400 say come out to here and you didn't have to fold an extension. But that means that all that area is designated to just being V-berth. We've tried to make a multi-use space by using a gas strut on an extension that you just flip down. Your center infill is now velcroed, so it's always in the boat ready to go. Rather than having a slide in, which we've previously done, we've now attached it to the back of that squab. And that's given us plenty of room to be able to give you that extra length sleeping ability, but not using up your cockpit space. So in here we have our flushing toilet. The holding tank for that is mounted in under here. So that gives you plenty of access to maintain, to do anything you have to do with your holding tank, a little bit of storage. If that's not selected, there's going to be a cover plate going there, so that can be used as fish storage, wet storage, whatever, fenders, it can all be stored in under there. So in the V-berth here we've added some storage nets to both sides, and that gives you fairly quick, ready access to reach in and grab whatever you have stowed in there. We found that when you have your gear stored on top of the squabs, which most people will do, it means that to get in there you've got to move everything out of the way, lift up the squab. So that gives you pretty quick access to grab out a jacket or whatever you have stored in there. So on the dash top here we've added this nice wee pocket. It's got a handrail on the front. Inside this pocket you've got access to your 12-volt socket and your USBs. So all your charging can be done in this pocket rather than having wires draping all over your dash. It's all done in there. We've added this wee storage here, wallet, phone, keys, your cup holder with your wee pocket in the front for more storage, handrail there, and there are plenty of storage right throughout. And as an upgrade option, they can be fully lined with carpet. Also got this big pocket here, more storage. The starboard side version has the USBs in there as well, so just another charging station that's out of the way. Behind your pockets here, we've got more storage and the same underneath the seat. It's just an open bin for full storage. So if both these seat boxes are selected, you can configure it to be a berth. So what you need to do, remove the rear squab, slide that over, do the same on the starboard side, and that then gives you the ability to make that into a berth. So this boat's fitted with rear drop curtains. So on a nice warm day, you can just roll them up. It's pretty easy. It's just an awning track at the top if you do want to remove it, and domes and buttons all the way around and mounted to the floor. So in colder climates, we do have a rear bifold door option, and that's going to be fully lockable. So if someone else wanted just peace of mind, being able to store your fishing gear on, lock it up, or a colder climate that you can just shut the doors. It's going to have a heater option as well. So the heater and the rear door suit any colder climate.
Yep, so this particular boat's got the game transom. You've got tuna tubes, live bait tank. Down below are your valves. So bottom valve is for the tuna tubes, top one's for the live bait tank, and then the pumps are switched at the dash. Central box has the 2 drawers and an HDP cutting board on top, a couple of cup holders, and for the game fishermen we have the leader line holder on the top of the bait board. So this is the transom box option that's in the current showboat. So this is one option. This is just the game transom with the tuna tubes, live bait tank, and a couple of drawers. And then the next option that you could go to is this one here, which is our superfish option. So that has a small wing on the port side, and you'll also get a second slide out seat. So you have a slide out seat, port starboard, live bait tank with the sliding bait table and drawer down the bottom. The third option, which has primarily been for the US market, but this is a fish bin. It's also insulated. And then you have the option of adding a live bait pump to this bin as well. The fourth option is our 3/4 wide fish bin, which is very similar to the US style one you just previously saw. This also has the option of having a live bait pump added, and it also has a drain in there. This is insulated as well, so you should keep your ice slurry in there for a longer period of time. So a fully insulated bin, 2 fold-up bait boards. So it gives you the ability to have your bait on one side and still be able to throw fish on the other side. This was initially developed for Alaska, that sort of area, for those larger frame halibut fish for them to put in. Also has the live bait pump pickup and a drain. So here's the port and starboard cage option. So they're a little bit different to what we've conventionally done. Well, the rear gate is also the ladder. So they fold down, give you plenty of access to climb up, and then up and over and into the new slide in, slide out seat. That also doubles as a step. So with modern engines, a lot of the manufacturers are coming out with electric steer or concealed hydraulic, which gives you more space in behind the outboards. So now with this platform style that we've gone to, you should be able to climb from side to side without having too many trip hazards or steering rams in your way. So it's quite a clear path through there now. Yeah, we've built on the performance of the 2050-1850. It is pretty impressive how tight you can turn it and at what speed without having any sort of feel of uneasiness or anything like that. So like as a passenger as well, like it's really comfortable to be in.
We've had heaps of positive feedback coming back from this model. We had one of our ambassadors took it out doing some marketing content for it, and he basically brought it back and said, sign me up, I want to trade my boat in, get this, and yeah, just loved it. Absolutely stoked with the on-water performance and the usable space. So yeah, it's real positive feedback.
In our next video, how did the public react to the new boat in its first outing? But in the meantime, check out the brochure online and contact your local dealer if you want to know more about this exciting new model.